Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Today we are reviewing Morphe 2. And from what I've seen so far, it looks like we're in for a treat. Now, I'm usually more of a full coverage, full glam type of person when I'm doing makeup on camera, but for an everyday vibe, usually I'm just like tinted moisturizer, maybe a little pop of a highlight every now and then, some nice lip balm, maybe some tinted lip gloss. It's usually really light because it's not like it's not going to be taken off by the mask all day long anyway. So I am excited to see what these products are like because maybe they can become an everyday type of thing for me. I don't know. We shall find out. And if you would also like to find out, if you want to know more information about Morphe 2, see what the products look like, how they perform on my skin, and would like to know what my initial first impressions are, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Now with this collection, there's no eyeshadow palette or anything, so I'm not going to start with eyes like I normally do for my routine. I'm actually going to start with this product right here, which is the Gloss Pop Face and Eye Gloss. This is $12, and why I want to start with this is because anytime a brand comes out with some kind of glossy face item, I don't like putting it on top of my foundation because it seems to always break down the foundation. So what I want to do is I want to show you what this looks like, how I use it, which is just on the skin directly, and I want you to see what the whole vibe of something like this could be if it didn't break down foundation. I do really love this packaging. It's almost like a negative of the standard Morphe packaging. And instead of it being black and sleek and simple, it's white and sleek and simple and fresh and clean, just like Morphe 2. So this is the face and eye gloss. I was so proud of that just then. And I want to see how this would look as just like a natural skin highlight. So you see my skin at the moment. I'm gonna do the face gloss on the right side, and then I'll leave the left side so you can see what it looks like just as is. So it just looks like a clear oil, like a primer almost. And I'm just gonna spread it on the highest point of my cheekbone, just like I would any highlighter normally. And this should make it, where my skin just has a sheen to it in that area. So it makes it look like I'm highlighted. Now, if you have oily skin, something like this I don't think is gonna work for you. I don't think any kind of face gloss or balmy highlighter is gonna work for you because what it's doing, for the effect anyway, is giving you that wet looking skin. And if you already have wet looking skin all the time, this probably isn't gonna be something that you would like. But on someone with dry skin, like myself, it does add a really pretty natural looking glow, and I think it's kind of nice, especially on that everyday just neutral kind of wearable vibe. So you can see the difference, left side, right side. It is a really beautiful glow, I gotta hand it that. But I just look oily. Let me zoom you in and see if you can see what I'm talking about. So that is what my skin looks like with the gloss. It's really pretty, but it looks greasy, kind of, like oily. And then my skin normally with my pimples. My skin has been breaking out so much lately, and I don't really know why. Probably sleeping too much, honestly. Let me zoom you back out. Now let's go ahead and jump into the Hint Skin Tint. This is actually what I'm most excited for. This is $17. And by the way, I got everything from Ulta. Don't know if I told you that yet or not. But this also comes in 20 shades, which is kind of excessive to me for a skin tint. Because usually a skin tint, as long as you have just like a light, a medium, a dark, a deep, and a deep dark, you've kind of covered everyone because they're so thin and sheer that usually they can pair with just about anybody. But I like that they did expand it a little bit more. I got the shade Hint of Marshmallow. I have no idea if it's gonna match. As you guys know, there are no testers right now, so this is what we got. I think we're gonna be good. It says start with 1 to 2 drops and build to your desired level of coverage. Apply using a synthetic brush, sponge, or your fingers. I don't have any synthetic fingers, but I do have natural fingers I could use. I think I'm gonna use a brush though. Actually, no. We're gonna do brush on one side, sponge on the other. And with the brush, I'm going to be applying the foundation on the right side of my face, and then I'm going to use a Morphe sponge on the left side of my face. But before I go in with foundation, I do need to prime. I am going to keep this whole look today really just light and airy and sheer and my skin but better, if you get what I mean. Part of that better means I have to get rid of my pores. So I'm just going to really quickly use my Makeup Revolution Pore Perfecting Primer. I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, my pores are now completely spackled, just like my bedroom wall. So let's go in with the Morphe 2 Hint Hint Skin Tint. So let's hit start with just a couple of drops. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be enough for me, but I'm going to just take 2. 1, 2. Wow, the formula reminds me of the number 7 Water Drop Serum Foundation, I think is what it's called. So far, I think my brush mainly soaked up everything I just dropped on it, because I don't see anything happening. Let's put those drops directly on my skin instead. Oh, it's so liquidy. See, usually for me, I always apply tinted moisturizers with my fingers. I just go in as the very last step of my skincare routine and just apply it like I would any moisturizer. Well, usually it is a tinted moisturizer, so it does make sense to apply it like one, but I feel like that's how I would use something like this more often than not. Okay, I can see this light wash of color happening. It's actually kind of pretty. It's soft, very, very sheer. Yeah, you can see how sheer it is. So far, seems like it's gonna be kind of 2 drops per section rather than just 2 drops. Trying to build slowly so I don't go too heavy too fast, because you guys know me, I will take it all the way to full coverage. Even though it's a sheer product, I'll get it there. Yeah, that's nothing. That's so little of coverage I can barely tell where it's going. So there's 4 more drops. So that means what? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 drops so far. If I still had my 16-year-old skin, I would probably be done. Actually, no, I take that back, because my 16-year-old skin was very problematic. I had such terrible acne. I'll put a picture of me when I was around 16 here. My acne was bad, really bad. That's probably why I like full coverage so much nowadays. I'm hiding my inner 16-year-old. Okay, so this is pretty. It's got a very pretty finish. It's slightly luminous. It looks just like my skin, but my skin looks a little color corrected right now. My 5 o'clock shadow isn't as strong, but I can still see it. I don't like how it looks on the nose with a brush applying it, because it's so thin that it doesn't really sit on the nose smoothly. 1 drop actually does get a pretty fair amount of coverage. Not coverage, it spreads well, because I was able to use 1 drop on this whole second half of my neck where my beard goes, or where the 5 o'clock shadow from where my beard once was goes, and it actually covers it okay. I mean, it puts the color tint down there and it went over the whole area, so it's decent so far, is what I'm saying. Granted, that was now 9 drops that I used on the right side of my face, and I have just a veil of color. That's all I've got. Now with the sponge, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start with 2 drops on the cheek and go from there. I know since we're using the sponge now, I know this is gonna spread a lot less than with the brush side, because the sponge is gonna soak up a lot of it at first. Yeah, that's gone already. Okay, 2 more drops. It's just really hard to tell where it's been applied or built up, because A, it looks like skin, it has that very natural looking skin finish, but B, it blends in so well that I can't tell where it ends and my actual skin begins. I think I've figured it out. I think that 2 drops per section of the face is good for coverage. For me, anyway. It seems like 2 drops has worked here, 2 drops has worked here. Except with the sponge at first. The first 2 drops, the sponge just soaked all of it up. But after that, it seems like 2 drops has gotten me pretty far on the neck area, the cheek, the forehead. Now, I like a little bit of extra coverage on and around my nose and on the center of my face. You know, that's where people look at me the most, like where I'm talking to them. So I like to build up the coverage a little bit there. So I'm gonna add just a few little drops down the center of my face. It's crazy how 16 drops of it can actually add a little bit of coverage. But really, in all seriousness, it does look really pretty on the skin. It is super sheer, as you would expect. I mean, it's called Hint Skin Tint. It is definitely a skin tint. I have to use more than their 1 to 2 drops. I definitely have to use more than that. I for sure prefer the sponge side because I like the way it applied to the nose. It didn't leave me with a bunch of weird texture. And whenever I use thinner complexion products, I do notice that even though I have to use more of it, I do prefer sponge application or my finger. My finger, I can usually get it to blend in seamlessly, but that's always immediately after I apply my skincare. And since it's been a little while since I've applied my skincare, it's working a little bit differently, but it does look pretty beautiful with the sponge. So I'm just gonna go over the rest of my face with the sponge just to even out any texture that I might have had with the brush. I've got mascara in my eye or something because it is so red and it kind of burns a little bit. So based on what I've expected so far, looking good. Just about everything has worked to the point that I thought it was going to work, so good news. Next we have the Wonder Tint Cheek and Lip Mousse. The first time I actually tried something like this from Morphe was in the Maddie Ziegler collection, and it was lip and cheek mousse just like this. I think that was actually their first time they created something like this. This is in the shade FYP, and it looks like this is $12. This came in 4 different shades. I wanted to pick the one that was the most universal, I guess, so that I could wear it with more things. And I figured since we were going more natural with the look, I would roll with that. Oh, I need to put concealer on first. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Glossier Stretch Concealer in the shade G11. Give me just a few minutes, I'll be right back. Concealer is applied. Now time to use the lip and cheek mousse. And they don't really have a recommended how to apply, so I'm just gonna use my finger because it's always fail-proof. Oh yeah, this is definitely the same formula as the Maddie Ziegler one. So with my finger, I'm just gonna take this on the highest point of my cheekbone and start applying it downward onto the ball of my cheek. Okay, got that blended out really as much as I think I'm going to with my finger. And now I'm just gonna go in very lightly with the same Morphe sponge, the side that has the foundation on it, and just lightly tap over everywhere that I applied blush, just to make sure that it blends in all the way, but also to make sure that it's not too saturated and weird looking. This actually looks really beautiful. Next we have this Jelly Eye Shimmer. This was $10 and it comes in 6 different shades. I got the shade Sunshine. Now before I put this on my lid, I do want to deepen my crease just a little bit. So I'm going to just very quickly go in with this Clinique Chubby Stick Shadow Tint for Eyes. This is in the shade Latza Latte, and I just want to use this to deepen the crease before I go in with a shimmer on the lid. So I'm going to do this off camera and I'll be right back. Now that the chubby stick is blended out, let's go in with the Jelly Eye Shimmer. It looks pretty on top. It's got a lot of sparkle in it. It looks really cute. Doesn't smell like anything. It feels so cold. Oh my gosh, that's really cold. It does feel very jelly-y. I don't really know that I'm picking too much up. Oh, okay, there we go. It started to break apart on the top layer. Ooh, a little messy. Okay, let's see how she looks on. Wow, that's actually really pretty. I like that a lot. Okay, well I'm kind of torn on this product because yes, it is very, very beautiful, but it also has these weird little flaky pieces that roll off whenever you start to slide it around or move it at all. Even picking it up to put it back down, it kind of started peeling up. So there's little tiny chunks all over my eyelid. Well, I say all over. There's 3 chunks on my eyelid from where some of it just peeled up and balled up. I'm gonna try it and just kind of brush it away. See what happens. So far, it's not going away. Don't want it to dry in place. See if I can use some pointed tweezers to get rid of it. Okay, so aside from that little moment, I really like that. I would actually even be okay with multiple shades of that because that's really pretty. I do like that a lot. We have 1 product left, and before I use that last product and give my final thoughts on the Morphe 2 collection, I want to go ahead and just finish off this eye look, throw in a wing, mascara, get my brows done, maybe set my under eyes. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet because I kind of like this dewy, fresh look. But anyway, I'm gonna do all that off camera and I'll be right back to give my final thoughts on all the products from Morphe 2. See you in just a second. Now that I have the whole look essentially done, it is now time to go in with the Glassified Lip Oil. It shows this is $9 on the Ulta website, and this comes in 6 shades. I got Extra Glaze is the name of my shade. I think it's like a pinky clear. I don't really remember, honestly. Yes. Pinky clear. Oh, P.S. This is the first time I've ever tried the whole faux freckle thing. I don't know if it's for me or not. I don't really know if it works on my face, but it's gonna be there today. Anyway, this looks like it's gonna be very promising. It just looks like a gloss, really, rather than a lip oil. Usually I see lip oils with actual applicators, not squeezy tubes, so we shall see. Oh yeah, definitely not a gloss. That's nowhere thick enough to be a gloss. Huh. Wow, that tastes amazing. I don't know what it smells like. Maybe coconut or something? Huh, I don't know. It feels really good on the lips though. Like, I partly want to say it feels like a balm, but not quite. It's like if you were to mix a balm, a chapstick, and an oil together, this feels like what that would, I imagine, feel like. It does make my lips feel very nourished, like very healthy and wet and completely not chapped, essentially. It also looks kind of cute. I actually like this look a lot more than I thought I would, aside from my eye being so red, and it's just this eye. I don't know why it's so red. But anyway, this is the finished look, guys. What do you guys think? Do you like? This is the Morphe 2 Face, is what I'm calling it. So when it comes to the Morphe 2 collection, would I recommend it? Before I tell you my answer, let me break this down by product, not by full collection. Because if I were to say, would I recommend that this whole collection can work for everyone? No, I could not. I could not recommend that. Because this foundation, this skin tint is just that. It says sheer to medium coverage. Kind of impressed that it can build up to medium. I don't think I got it to medium. I think I got it to like a light medium, maybe almost medium. Honestly, if I realized that I could have gotten it to medium, I probably would have continued building it up, but I didn't read that until now. So I will say that I do really like this. I just don't think it's gonna work for everybody. If you like more full coverage, you're not going to like this. If you like medium buildable, you're not gonna like this. But if you like sheer to medium and you want just that nice color correcting type of product, this is gonna be for you. I really like it. I actually think that I could use this on the daily. I'm gonna have to experiment with it more when it comes to setting it with powder. I actually didn't use any powder on my face today at all. Actually, aside from my highlighter, all I used on my face was foundation, concealer, and blush. So I'm sure this isn't going to be transfer resistant or transfer proof. No, not at all. Well, you can't really see that on camera, but it just took off a layer, really. You can see that the finish of the foundation is on my fingers, but I bet if you use some kind of sheer translucent powder, it'll probably set really well. I don't know how well it will wear with powder, but I could bet you without powder, it's probably not going to wear that great. But as just a quick, easy, throw it on, get some nice, fresh looking skin type of product, I would recommend this. I do really, really like it. I think it's a really nice skin tint. I do. Just wouldn't recommend it for everyone. It's very specific. The Wonder Tint Cheek and Lip Mousse, I think this is really great. I liked this with the Maddie Ziegler collection. I continue to like it now. I think products like this are just really, really pretty because you can start it with just this beautiful natural looking blush finish, just adding that flush of color to the skin, but then you can set it with another blush, like a powder blush, and really build up the pigmency if you want to, or you can leave it sheer and natural looking. So I like products like this because it's workable like that. Plus, whenever I did the Maddie Ziegler review, if you didn't watch that, I'll leave it linked here so you know what I'm talking about. But whenever I reviewed the lip and cheek mousse with that video, I actually didn't like it as a cheek product because I had already set my makeup. So I used it as just a lip mousse and it worked beautifully with some gloss. It was like the perfect combination for one of those more sheer natural lips. So I like it for both ways now, since I got to try it without setting my face first. Then the Jelly Eye Shimmer, I don't know about this. I'm kind of unsure. I like it after it's built up and you get rid of all the extra pieces of it that like peel up and come up. I don't like it whenever it's first applied and it's so sheer that you can see literally through it. It just has a layer of glitter. but I do like it after it's built up, and it's a lot more opaque. So I probably wouldn't recommend it as is. Maybe if they tweak the formula and work on it a little bit, I would more so. The Gloss Pop Face and Eye Gloss. Another mixed emotions type product. I feel like literally the only way you can use products like this is if you have drier skin and you use it on the high point of your cheekbone without any other products. It does make a really beautiful, natural, dewy looking highlight like that. I don't really like it any other way. So take that with a grain of salt because that's just my opinion on it, so it's the way I feel. It is really pretty when you wear it without any other makeup. And the last product was the Glassified Lip Oil. I actually do really like this stuff. I thought it was just gonna be like a chapstick. I don't know why, because it's called lip oil, but I like it because it literally feels like a chapstick and a lip oil, but it also looks really glossy. So it's super cute. I want more. I also think that this is perfect for not only summer because it looks like a cute gloss, but also winter. This is gonna be great because it's gonna be super hydrating and help keep your lips from getting chapped, but still look super cute, like you're super glossy. So that is it from me for this review. Those are my final thoughts, but more importantly, I wanna know what your final thoughts are. Do you like the idea of Morphe 2? Do you like the idea that they're coming out with this whole like fresh light skin tint Generation Z type line? Or are you just like, why Morphe? Why didn't you just make another side product from your already existing line? Let me know down in the comments below. You guys know that I always love to have a conversation with you. Also, if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up because it does let me know that you like my content, but it also lets others know that you like my content. Also, it helps YouTube recommend it to other people, which helps me out a whole lot. If you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this, and that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye!